What a day it's been. What a week it's been. What a year it's been. And it's only been 6 days. So much to uncover, so much to unfold. On this live, I'm going to put together a couple of scenarios to give you that power to come to your own conclusions based on what occurred today, yesterday, just kind of this week. Here we are in the home stretch. You hear me talk about it over and over and over. And before I dive in, again, reminder for those watching, reminder for those tuning in, watching this on a replay, watching this live, always use discernment. It is such an important word. And if you don't know what that is, it's the ability, plain and simply, to come to your own conclusion, take what resonates, kind of have your own inner filter, not the filter that's on, Instagram or on social media. That's in your heart. It's in your space, your subconscious mind. And that, again, is a manifestation and a byproduct of your whole life. So here we are today. It's time being a linear construct. We're here in this present moment. And there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of uncertainty, especially now, just in the last 12 hours. It's 7:43 my divine numbers on Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday, January 6th, on a day that probably will go down in history as a very memorable day for many reasons. Now, you guys talk about zooming in and zooming out, and I love a lot of you are getting that concept down. It helps so much. Right now, we zoomed in on Washington, D.C. Right, we zoomed in on what occurred from the morning for people loading up. You have so many different angles, right? There's so many different ways. 1 second you see a picture, another second you see a video. The next thing you know, that video is saying why the picture is inaccurate. Next thing you know, that picture is saying why that video is misleading. And now it becomes almost overloading. Welcome to the Matrix. Welcome to the left brain illusion that is meant to keep you confused, unsure, giving up, fearful, anxious, stressed. That's the system that is breaking. You're seeing literally, if I had cracks in this iPhone, it's shattering. And not literally glass shattering, the illusion itself. There's like a thin veil. It's very paper thin. So thin into the quantum world, we can't even see it. We can't even see it. In one lens, right? One lens that maybe follows mainstream media, one lens, that follows television or news reporters or Twitter handles or Instagram feeds. There's discernment everywhere. There's discernment everywhere, and there's cognitive dissonance everywhere, because the things that we're seeing now, all of a sudden, even me, I saw things today. I was like, wait a minute, whoa. And I had to go take a little walk outside. I had to go reground myself, as much as I've just uncovered and discovered within and without myself. So it's amazing to see, but it's also scary perhaps to see at the same time. Zoom out. This is part of the act. This is part of the show that is being played out. What you saw today, it was all designed. It was all manifested. It was all co-created by us, because that's the state that the subconscious mind is in of the collective. So the things that played out in DC played out recently in our own self, right? This awakening within our own self, and now it's manifesting in front of us. And that might be a little bit more spiritual for some, or more quantum physics for others, with vibration, energy, and frequency. But as you start connecting these dots, you truly do feel like something is wrong. Something is off. Something doesn't make sense. We've come so far in these last couple of years just to get to one day where all of a sudden it's over. Remember, when one thing ends, another thing begins. And that's the quest, the hero's journey that each and every single one of us is on. So let's talk a little bit about kind of what occurred today. Obviously, this morning, the president, which again, I am not here to say I'm a fan of the president because he's a character. It's not actually really a person. I was struggling earlier to find the words to come to that conclusion and to really explain that to you guys, but stay with me as I navigate using certain words to keep it super simple. All right, you can turn on the TV right now and words. You've probably heard 30,000 words today. No wonder people are in it. That's a lot of words. We drown in the word. That's why you add an L, it becomes the world, right? And it becomes a whirlwind. And these words get us confused. So earlier today, the president, by observation, he announced that patriots that were gathering at this location in Washington, D.C., which is a very powerful place located on a ley line. A lot of places on this world are choreographed to be put on ley lines to harness energy, to siphon energy. So millions have gathered, and I knew people who were there, and they were sending me messages, they were sending me photos, they were sending me live action, like literally right there in the midst of it. And what he had announced was, let's march over towards the Capitol. Let's march over towards where these hearings are about the Electoral College, about the vice president. And it's fascinating because now, just right there, mainstream media jumps in, takes it, and all of a sudden, Trump initiated everything you saw today. It's Trump's fault. So do you see how that narrative plays out? I'm going to give you a bunch of lenses, and then for you to come to that conclusion, that's up to you. So that lens played out. And now what had happened was the hearing started. And the vice president really didn't hold us up into the bargain of rejecting the voter fraud. And honestly, guys, it's kind of what I expected. In my reality, in my lens that I've discovered, maybe you thought the opposite. Maybe you thought he would accept it or he would reject it. That's up to you. I'm just sharing what I've discovered myself. So here we are. Now we're seeing this play out. And what started to occur was now all of a sudden more people got closer because now the snowball effect of Pence and Pelosi, which another timeline, a Q drop, red 3, which is proven future proofs past, now actually manifested. So you are now seeing that timeline play out. So you have the mainstream media narrative of Trump initiated this. It's all Trump's fault. Trump hates America. He's a dictatorship. That timeline, I'm making lines here for you guys. That timeline is playing out with millions of people living in that reality. So that's what they see. Maybe over here, you can't see that. Just like you stand next to somebody and you look at something, they might not see what you see. So here we are in this timeline over here, trying to get someone to see the timeline over here, but they can't because there's an illusion. There's a disassociation vibrationally. So now you have this timeline. Stay with me. I'm gonna keep you here. I promise. I got you. You have this timeline being played out, right? With Pence, Pelosi, moving outside, getting taken away by Secret Service. They didn't hold up to the bargain, so to speak. And then you have the whole Insurrection Act, which is where government is now bypassed and now the military comes in to secure a certain area. Okay, so now as that is happening, now this is where the chaos began. This is where all of a sudden CNN got the notification, MSNBC got the notification, all these top news channels, eyes on DC, because the eyes that go to DC in that timeline, the eyes that go there, that's that all-seeing eye, so to speak. That's the big brother. That's the mainstream media. Just in case you guys didn't know, do you guys know what Siri is spelled backwards? Some of us say, the mark of the beast, crypto, the mark of the beast is this. No, we've been marked for decades. Siri spelled backwards is iris. Iris is that all-seeing eye, so you can see everything. So we're always being watched with Siri, right? So as soon as something negative happens, all eyes, serious, all eyes go to the event that occurred today because it's part of the final stage in this act of this movie. So what played out now next was all of a sudden violence. It was now people jumping the fence. It was people battling with the security. It was people battling with the police. Now here's the thing, pause again. Let's look on the other ends. Looking back in 2020, there was a lot of protests. I observed a lot of them. I like to observe all kinds of things. I'm not one side of this or that. You guys know this by now. If you don't know that, now you know. I never even really voted in my life, to be honest. I vote for freedom and sovereignty and waking up to your highest potential of God within. So you now had this violence start getting initiated. And you can look back on this lens and you're going to see patriots, aka people standing for freedom, attacking the police. Remember, you're seeing it on this side. You're seeing it on this timeline. On this timeline, you're now seeing, wait a minute, no, those people were ushered in on buses. Those people actually had propane tanks scattered throughout DC. You can look, it's all out there, and people that are there were showing me this information. And so that occurred. So now you have one side saying that, quote unquote, you have another side saying that, quote unquote, Antifa supporters were doing this, and that's where you're getting the psychological clash. It's the mental, you know how we were in a civil war? Remember how we've been in civil wars in the past, but instead we use muskets and battle axes and spears and whatnot? Well, it's no longer that. It's psychological civil war. It's information civil war. You've got literally separated illusions on both sides. That's why it's not this or that. I'm kind of just floating in the middle, observing both and going, well, this is wild. I'm going to control what I can. I'm going to share what I know. And all of a sudden, come to my own conclusion. And millions are doing that. And shout out to you for holding that light and holding that frequency, because there is that zoom out lens. Because everything I'm telling you right now, there's stuff bigger up here happening. There's stuff bigger happening that we're not even seeing behind the scenes that we haven't been seeing and we're about to start seeing, right? Instead of the all-seeing eye with Siri, we're about to really see it through our eyes, which is our eyes, and our eyes, and it's going to start to make sense. So now you have one side saying Trump initiated this, the supporters enforced this, the people that are supporting freedom and peaceful protesting are now all of a sudden violent. Now mainstream media wants to say all Trump supporters are violent. Yet, here we go, reflect back what happened throughout this year, what happened in Portland, what happened in these certain cities with these certain riots and these lootings and these in Minnesota and burning it down. But the media, oh, no, they're making a stand, right? They're making a stand. And it's violence. It's violence and hate and greed. So now you get programmed with that's okay, right? And now you bring it to the present moment and it happens and now it's not okay. So it's not okay and then it is okay. It is okay, then it's not okay. You see the confusion now. Now your subconscious goes, what the heck do I believe? I think, I might, maybe, and try. Again, that goes back to the words you speak, the words you think. Are you in the in-between state? Are you in the affirmation, now-spaced, progressive movement state? All right, so you're seeing both sides, right? That's why I always say, zoom out. And now you're seeing both sides of the puppets. Because there are puppets on both sides of the Republican Party, of the Democratic Party, in Congress and legislature, right? Everyone has some kind of say and control. But again, zoom out and look at the bigger picture. All right, so let's go back to what occurred today. Now you're having violence, you're having all kinds of things happen, you're having now blame being pointed on this and that, but what really occurred was something bigger happening behind the scenes, right? And here's a lot of people that, some people were messaging me and I'm looking at on different Twitter threads and Telegram channels. I just posted on my stories a good summary of where I get a lot of my quote unquote sources. First, my number one source is God. My number one source is my intuition, always. Like at the end of the day, what I'm speaking to you is kind of getting filtered through my channel, which is infinite and abundant, and doing that inner work over the years and really cleansing and letting go of attachments and the willing to be right and ego. I've been wrong many, many times in my life. I'm happy to admit it. But that allows me to figure out and understand and learn and understand how I can improve from it. So I'm willing to actually admit that as well. And so we now see this timeline being played out. We see this thing start to happen and we start to realize, wait a minute. All of a sudden, is this it? Did nothing happen? Nothing happened. And we literally get to a point where now I saw so many people that I've been in contact with, all of a sudden like, oh, we lost, it's over. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Over what did we lose and what is over? So you just had a timeline, your own timeline, an agenda with an endpoint. There is no endpoint. Life is a fractal. Life is constantly expanding. We don't know when the endpoint is. There's no such thing. Because when something ends, another thing begins, right? When something ends, another thing begins. So what's still occurring now, you're seeing all the confusion. You're letting all these people who have criminal backgrounds, that have been suspicioned of treason and conspiracy to overthrow government. They have criminal records. And again, depends where you look. If you're looking on this channel, left brain matrix controlled, great people. Obama, Biden, Clinton's amazing. Democracy, love it. We're here to save you and protect you. Give us your power. Trust us. It's all good. Wear the mask. Do what we say. We got you. We got you. Well, you got one side saying that, and the other side is, wait a minute. No, hold on. These are criminals. These are corrupt. These are corrupt politicians. These are people that have done horrible, horrible things that I'm not even going to mention on here. You're going to see for yourself. So you have that side, and now you literally have one person, for example, Barry Soetoro, and if you don't know what that is, look it up. Barry Soetoro, Mr. Barry, you have one person now, you have so many different lenses for it. That's the warfare. That's the psychological warfare. You can use people as bullets. You can use contracts as weapons. You can use TV shows as bullets. You can now use, different interviews. You can do publications and even tweets as weapons of mass destruction. And now here you then see, getting back to this side of things, so to speak, kind of like the I guess you can call it a quantum lens, the Q lens, so to speak. And now you have all of a sudden the president's Twitter is removed. You're like, well, that's random of all days. Well, again, zoom out. If you look at it, it's already been proven. Future proves past. And so that's already been proven that the Twitter account would be removed, because you literally have to get to a point where everything collapses. Everything collapses. down to the 0 point. 0 point is the present moment. The present moment is when we can have that great solar flash, like I talked about the other day. That great solar flash is coming all of us back to that 0 point. Maybe not every single person, but enough of the collective to get back to the 0 point to then have a complete flash, and a new awakening to a new paradigm. And a lot of us thought it was on December 21st. A lot did happen that day. A lot of energy that me and you can't always see because we can only see 1% of the light spectrum. So this energy is literally coming in, right? This energy is literally coming in and is now pushing everything out to the surface, okay? So the Twitter account's been removed. You're now seeing all of a sudden Pence flip the script. You're seeing all these people that were literally working in the White House jumping ship. Everyone thinks the ship is sinking. Well, my friends, depends what ship you're on. Depends what ship you're riding, depends what vision you're holding and what reality you're seeing within you. And there will be a lot of splits. There will be different timelines, right? And there's still a couple weeks. And here, that's the thing. If you guys paid attention to the speech this morning by the character of the president, right? Well, these next 2 weeks are going to be pretty wild. It makes you think, what does he know that we don't? And then you start looking at the articles that were published today. For example, the letter that Nancy Pelosi wrote. Why was it dated 2020? What year are we in? It said January 6, 2020. And if you didn't catch it, just go back and look. It's right there. So 2021 is the year we're in. So why 2020? Did this happen a year ago? Was today just a stage with certain things being set in place, with certain people playing certain characters and certain roles? Then you had the Viking guy with the Viking hat. All of a sudden, who is this guy? And that's even coming in. So again, there's so many little things that happened today, and it was important. It was supposed to happen. And here's my answer to, oh my gosh, is it over? Did we not win? Or are we going to, become stuck in these camps and all of a sudden Biden and the corruption and this? No, it was never in the cards anyways. Like I said, it happened a long time ago. We're watching it play out. It doesn't just happen overnight. It's now happening slowly but surely. So if you guys don't know what tomorrow is, anybody know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow's January 7th. January 7th, according to the Julian calendar, is Christmas Day. Tonight is Christmas Eve, and some countries are celebrating Christmas Eve. I'm doing a live this Saturday morning with Joaquin Flores. If you don't know his account, you guys can follow, check out my story. He does amazing. The guy is on another level in terms of how he interprets things, how he breaks information down. So I'm doing a live with him Saturday morning, so tune into that. But he actually reminded me that Christmas Day in the Julian calendar, not the Gregorian calendar. Gregorian calendar is December 21st or 25th. And you're like, wait a minute. There's multiple calendars? Timelines, you guys. Timelines. Remember, time is man-made. Time is linear. Time can be changed. Space, that's infinite. We're leaving time and coming to the space. Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild? So you now have different calendars being played out. And then you go to the Q drops and they're talking about Merry Christmas. It's going to be quite a Christmas. Well, I don't know what will happen tomorrow. We get to co-create it. Based on our belief system and what frequency we hold, because that's the thing. These dark forces that are slowly being slurped out, literally out of our consciousness and reality, are hitting every button. Here's an analogy I like to give. Imagine someone is robbing your home and stealing all your goods. They're stealing your money. They're hurting your children. They're taking your food. All right, taxes, child trafficking, theft, GMOs, so example. And now let's say the police come though. The good guys, not the bad police, but like the good guys, right? The ones that have pure hearts and intentions to serve humanity. And they come and take this bad guy out. And what happens when the bad guy leaves? He tries to find a lighter to throw into the house to take the house down. That's what you're seeing play out. You're seeing these lighters being thrown out, trying to bring everything down because it's already done. It's already lost and it's already exiting. You're seeing that happen today. Remember, the POTUS, the character president of the fake United States, of fake America, so to speak, after it went bankrupt multiple times in the past, he's having to wait to show you. He can't tell you. He can't come out and start tweeting that these people are horrible people. He's done it. He's done it in encrypting. He's done it in encryptions and military code if you haven't caught it, without actually saying it to you. So to this audience, remember, to this audience over here, okay, to this audience over here, Orange man bad. Trump is crazy. He can't spell. Why does he capitalize those letters? He's a lunatic. He's a dictator. Totally. I agree. If I'm over here looking at that, I 100% see that perspective. But Can I ask you a question? Can you come on over here really quick? Okay, what if I showed you that? And they're like, that's where cognitive dissonance comes in. That's where, you know what? What? The mind is having trouble processing, right? The mind is having trouble processing because there are so many neural pathways of this person on TV with orange hair in a suit who's a businessman, not a politician, and is calling shots and is causing so much trouble, which we haven't been in any new wars. There's been 3 or 4 peace treaties on some of the most destroyed, impoverished nations in the world. I can go on and on about that, but that's not the point. So you have the cognitive dissonance and you have the awakening within, and now you're coming together to create this new reality as we speak. So going forward, here's my prediction. And here's what things that have come to me in my life that I never knew why. And one thing is, I never knew why I went to Italy. I went to Italy about 5 years ago, you guys. And Italy's an interesting place. Obviously, the Vatican's there. The Vatican's a powerful place, well, of Washington, D.C. And what I've noticed that I went there for a reason, and I didn't know when, 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, but there was a big reason, right? So I'm going to put that Italy seed in your mind along with Barry Soetoro in Italy, and you know, what happens, happens, but you're going to see this video again, it's going to go and make sense. All right, so with the Gregorian calendar, back to the timelines, just want to plant that seed. Back to that timeline of the Gregorian calendar, right, the 12-month calendar. Well, do we have 13 months in a calendar? Do we have 28 days in every month, not just February? Well, if you can bend time, if you can create a false calendar, if you can bend energy and also quantum universe in a way, what makes you think you can't create a movie out of it? Make a movie magic, right? So that's why you're seeing these things. It's the only way, because when you go to a movie theater, you know, you feel like it's almost like it feels like it's a real movie. Like Star Trek is real, Star Wars is real. Is it? The only person that says it's fake is probably your mom and dad when you were growing up, who said, "Oh, that's not real. Don't believe in that." Could be, maybe. If you're in this lens, probably not. That's too far-fetched, no chance. There's nothing outside of this Earth. We're in this little bubble. The galaxy is just one little speck. Or you're in this lens, it's, oh my gosh, this Earth is one little water drop. And we're surrounded by galactics and extraterrestrials and star families and all of these amazing things. And that's the beauty of it, right? So, yeah, and I think a lot of you guys were talking about Tesla. Yeah, January 7th, 1943. Gotta love that 43, right? Gotta love that 43. So I'm going live with Joaquin Flores, but he was just telling me how Christmas Eve is tonight. Tomorrow's Christmas, all right? Tomorrow's Christmas. In the next 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, you have the quote-unquote fake inauguration, which Biden's parade has been canceled, and all kinds of other stuff. The Pentagon stopped talking to him a long time ago. All that stuff. On this lens, Biden's president, his team's coming in, he won the election. Again, they're right. They're so right in that reality. They're so right. In this reality, the Pentagon stopped talking to Biden. The parade has been canceled. How come Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, all these supporters are no longer to be found? Where did they go? Question. But don't come to a conclusion until your heart goes, yes, and you get the chills and your hairs stick up on your arms. That's your inner waters. That's God going, yes, not ego, where you're edging God out going, no. All right, big difference. So going forward, my prediction, right, to kind of wrap up this little flow, I hope this was this helpful. I know this was helpful. I'm not hoping anymore. I'm knowing. I'm declaring and knowing, and I'm not stopping. I'll listen to all lenses, but at the same time, I've come so far in my journey these last couple of years. I've died over and over, and I've risen over and over again, just like we all are now, just like humanity is now collapsing and expanding like a cell breathing. Collapse, expand. Collapse, expand. It's the heartbeat of the universe. That's why we clap and we make it happen, because we're creating energy when we collapse and we clap and we expand. Okay? So going forward, here's what's going to happen. Here's my prediction. Just a prediction, prophecy, whatever. There is stuff happening behind the scenes, and I've been blessed to meet amazing people along this journey of awakening. And you know who you are, and you know what you've sent me, and you know the sources, and you know that I trust you, and you know that I trust myself, and I know that I trust God. it all comes back to this thing called the voter fraud, right? The fake presidential election, yes, but it comes back to this voter fraud. But what the heck does that mean? Chris, there's been so many court cases, they've all been thrown out. Chris, all these, senates and legislatures, as all those people you thought were good are now bad. Chris, there's the Supreme Court won't even look at the cases because they were never supposed to. It wasn't about that. Those were not distractions. Those were simply part of the movie script. Because when you're watching a movie and you think you get to the climax, you're like, oh my gosh. And then, oh, there's no enemy. And then you get to the climax, oh, it's just next episode. That's what's happening. Because you got to get people close enough to start researching. And then excited to start going, wait a minute, what's next? And then next, so it's the dance. There's the wave, be like water, right? You get close and then, oh gosh, no. So today, this morning, we were like, oh, something's going to happen. And now we're like, oh my God, that was an awful day. Guys, the stock market, cryptocurrency, the tides of the ocean, this is how the universe flows. It's the ebb and the flow, the masculine, the feminine, the fire and the water, the electric, the magnetic, right? So going forward, there's going to be a lot of corruption exposed. We know this. We know disclosure is on the horizon. We know this. We know free energy is on the horizon. We know this. It's in our DNA. It's being written in the stars as we speak. And this is biblical times, 2,000 years later. What's going to happen is there is going to be a breaking press release, slowly, breaking but slowly, coming out of Italy. That's my prediction. You heard it here first. It's going to come out of Italy because Italy is the Holy Land. Italy is really, not the Holy Land. That's more the Jerusalem for those that are in that world. Respect it. Italy is where the Vatican is. And the Vatican has hijacked the Catholicism. They hijacked the Catholic Church. So what better way to wake up the world than going back to the root of all evil at the Vatican and starting from there? So what has happened, and to my awareness and knowledge, and this is the stuff on the back scene, because remember today what you saw, that's like, hey, puppet show here, over there, way over there. Like I'm shooting a hoop, way over there is Italy. There's stuff being broken out right now. And this information is all about this whistleblower and this firm that actually went ahead and switched votes, and they actually admitted to it. And they have affidavits, they have signed contracts, and they have proof and information. That's what I've seen. Again, I'm holding onto that timeline, potentially as of right now. I'm seeing it play out. I don't know what's going to happen next, but it's going to be the snowball effect because Barry Soetoro, after he was removed from office, for obviously he's a treason, corruption, the whole 9 yards. We won't go down that wormhole. You guys can go down that. He went over and he took money and he tried to create a partnership in Italy. And that partnership in Italy tried to use this decoding, this software, military, hacked, encrypted. Remember you guys heard about the Kraken? Okay, that'll come back into play. So there was a whole hacking system that went ahead and had the ability via military satellites, right? Technological warfare, not bullets, data, coding, encryption. That's why blockchain and quantum physics and quantum entanglement, the QFS system, all of these different things are going to be able to protect us from what just happened. Okay, so that happened. And what you're now going to see is the ability to go ahead and in one push of a button, right? Just like, right here. Right here. Enter. That's it. Change the world overnight. Hit of a button. A hit of a button. Change the world overnight because you just changed a number from one to another. You now just took things from this side and put it on this side. You now created more separation and illusion with this encrypted change of votes. And again, I'm not here to say that's going to happen for sure. I'm not here to say if that's 100% fact or true. From the dots I've connected, from the wormholes and the water holes and the rabbit holes and the cob holes and everything else you can even think of, the Phoenix, whatever, I feel like you're going to see something come out of nowhere and slap everybody right in the face because that's how it was designed. Nobody, it's like, okay, here's a good analogy. Ready? I know it keeps flowing. When the movie ends, what do you guys do? When the movie ends, what do you guys do? A lot of people sit and they stay and they wait. And then you look around and there's 20 minutes later and then the credits are over. The credits are over and you look around and you just... There's nobody here. There's nobody here. Maybe there's one person right back there and they go, and then all of a sudden the bonus scene comes and everyone went home. What did Trump say on his Twitter before he got removed? Everybody go home. You're good now. Let us finish. Because they're doing their part and it's up to us to do our part with this awakening. Everybody go home. Everybody, it's all good. Go home. It's show's over. Biden's the president. Show's over. That's what they want you to believe. And many, we're going to believe it. I had little bouts of that myself today. I know, wild. That's okay. I'm human. I have emotions and I feel the emotions. But at the same time, those post-credit scenes, oh my gosh, it tells you a whole nother movie in about 30 seconds. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to see that come in. 2 weeks from today is 120. Tesla, Julian Assange, Italy, voter fraud, Barry Soetoro. What do they know that we don't? What do I don't know that they do? That's the question. So to tie it all together, all I want you guys to remember is this. All is well. I know it's so weird. Like, Chris, I just watched some of the most craziest things. I don't support anything that goes against love, compassion, and gratitude. Because the thing is, we have this ability, whether we know it or not, to create stories about other people. We have this intuitive ability that we have no idea that we're doing unconsciously, is literally to create stories about other people. And if we leave these gaps in the words that we express and the things that we share, well, someone else is going to fill in those gaps. And someone else is going to fill in those timelines, and they're going to create your reality, and they're going to take your power. Or they're going to give you their power, and now it's like a game of hot potato. Stay in your integrity, smile and wave, say thanks for sharing. I got a couple projections today. I loved it. It's awesome. It's great. I asked some questions back, and it created a great conversation that turned into that. And it's going to happen more and more. And that's okay. Because remember, everything's collapsing, and then everything's going to expand. That's it. Greatest time to be alive. Share this video. I hope this helps. Stay tuned. Maybe for tomorrow, more drops are going to be coming. The things I share in my stories are breadcrumbs. They're just giving you different angles. If you have the time to go through it, great. If not, don't feel pressured or called. Step back, go for a walk. Step back, go to the beach. Go ground, go have a cup of tea, go hug your mom or dad. I know I wish I could do that right now. I wish I could hug my dad, but he's right here with me. He's giving me this guidance and advice and these tips, and I feel it. And I feel it through me. And I just got the chills on the left side of my body. Hello. Okay. And it truly is amazing. So thank you guys. This is so fun. And you know, I'm not here to be put on a pedestal. I'm no different than you. I'm not a guru. I don't have the answers. I have the questions. I have plenty of them. But at the end of the day, you guys have all the tools that you need to really come out better from all of this. Die as the phoenix, embrace that death, embrace that collapsing of illusion and reality, embrace maybe those broken friendships and relationships. It's so hard, it is. Embrace it and welcome it with love, because the love transmutes it, and it transmutes it to a rising within, activating the feminine, the right side, the water, all the beautiful things within you. And as we do that collectively, which we are, you guys, you already know how it ends. You already know how it ends, because as soon as it ends, it begins. And we're here for it. And you chose to be here for it. We'll see you guys next time. Much love. Have an amazing night. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve for some around the Julian calendar around the world. Stay tuned Saturday morning. I'm not sure what time yet. Me and Joaquin Flores are going to kind of flow back and forth. I'm excited to dive in. I'll post more of his stuff. Great guy. Message him right away. He was so open and receiving. Highly respect his work and the way he explains things. So I'm excited for that. And then we'll see what happens. We're going to see what happens, and we're going to create it together. All right, guys, much love. Have an amazing night. Love y'all. Phoenix Rising, come out better. You said it, not me. So it is.